What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be explaining how I feel personally about Clair Obscur Expedition 33, a stunning, surreal, and heartbreaking journey where every stroke of the Paintress's brush means death for your people. Let's break down what makes this turn-based RPG one of the most striking and ambitious games this year. Set in a hauntingly beautiful, twisted version of Belle Epoque, France, this game throws you into a world doomed by the Paintress, an otherworldly being who paints names into existence only to erase them by the stroke of midnight every year. You play as Gustave, leader of Expedition 33, the next group marked for extinction, and it's up to you to end the cycle. The game's narrative is poetic, tragic, and deeply engaging, blending existential horror with a sense of hope and resistance. It explores heavy themes of morality, legacy, and fate, all wrapped in a setting that feels like a living oil painting. It's bold, imaginative, and absolutely worth experiencing the story alone. One of the first things that left me in awe was the game's art direction. It's stunning. Painterly brushstrokes merge seamlessly with the 3D world, making you feel like you're moving through a living painting. The environments are rich, layered, and atmospheric, full of surreal, French-inspired architecture and twisted, dreamlike vistas. Character designs are equally impressive, with elaborate costumes and grotesque enemies straight out of a fever dream. The deliberate contrast between beauty and horror, which is woven perfectly into the game's central theme of creation and destruction, is what really drew me in at the beginning of the story. I just loved how it really kind of punches you in the face with the gommage. I have no idea what that word actually means, but when you start the game, you know, everything seems real tense. Everybody seems on edge. You know, you got kids trying to play, trying to, you know, be kids, but it's really hard because they know what's about to happen. And in a lot of the opening dialogues that you can have, you can just hear it in everyone's voices about how sad the day is when it seems like a celebration. So like I said, I guess the point of no return really hits you in the mouth and kind of gets you like thinking, like, what did I get myself into? Now, outside of the art style, the visual, the gameplay really hooked me in, right? So it's a turn-based RPG with an active time-based system combat, meaning you can dodge, you can parry enemies' attacks, which is crucial in surviving these encounters. I played through the game on expert mode. I like a little bit of a challenge, so it was mandatory that you actually got good at timing your parries and your dodges and learning the attack patterns of your enemies. The hybrid system is super engaging. It keeps battles feeling tense and dynamic. Your party members all bring unique abilities that synergize in creative ways, adding a puzzle-like layer to every encounter, which you can basically combo off of your teammates with different attacks or different setups or buffs or debuffs on enemies. There was a character that was stronger than the rest pre-patch. She still is pretty strong, but like, you don't necessarily have to rely on her to do all of your heavy lifting if you center your build around another character. So, you know, you get a few different party members to choose from. Some people would say the timing windows are unforgiving, especially during longer boss fights, and the tutorials can feel a little sparse for deeper mechanics, which might leave newcomers struggling in the early hours. But once it clicks, the system feels incredibly rewarding and makes even random encounters feel meaningful. With all that being said, let's move on to my next point, sound and music. The soundtrack is nothing short of breathtaking. Orchestral pieces blend haunting piano melodies with eerie ambient effects, giving every area its own identity and emotional weight. Voice acting is strong, delivering the drama and tragedy of a story with believable performances across the board. Sound design and combat is powerful and impactful, with crunchy, satisfying hits that make every strike land with weight. And when you counter, it's basically an 808 bass drop. That shit has you rolling. Quite literally, it makes it feel like you're actually doing something when you know, hit a dodge or you hit that parry, especially the sequence of parries. You know, the enemy attacks abruptly, you know, he'll slam down and then you just parry that one attack. Everybody counters. It'll be a multi-attack move set, so you got to parry multiple different hits within the same turn. And once you get the enemy's patterns down and you can parry those multi-hit attacks, especially the fast ones, the ones that are kind of offbeat, I guess you could say that, You know, those are the ones that are really satisfying. You know, you got tracks like Monaco, Lumiere, you know, just the ambient music that plays when you're running around. It really draws you in and kind of gives you that French feel of the developers who made the game. So, is Clair Obscur Expedition 33 worth your time? I would say absolutely it is. It's an unforgettable experience with a fresh take on turn-based combat, a powerful story, and one of the most beautiful visual presentations in recent memory. It's not perfect. Difficulty spikes and steep learning curves might frustrate some new players, but the sheer ambition and artistry on display make it an easy game to recommend. If you love JRPG-inspired adventures with a mature philosophical edge, this one deserves a spot on your playlist. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. I try to post videos every day. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.